Welcome to Pages with Sidra. In this video, we're diving into Chapter 156 of Standard of Reincarnation. Vincent faces off against Carmen in a battle of strategy, blessings, and sheer willpower. Let's break down every twist and turn of this intense fight. As Chapter 156 begins, we see Carmen laughing maniacally in his mind. Yes, use that strange sword path, Vincent. That will lead to your downfall. But the moment Vincent sees him laughing, his thoughts tighten. You laughed? Damn. Was this your goal all along? Realizing Carmen's plan, Vincent makes a quick decision. Instead of striking Carmen directly, he slashes his attack down into the ground. Carmen notices this, and with a sly grin he speaks out loud. What a pity. If you had swung that sword path and cut me even slightly, I would have been able to copy that strange sword strike too. The pressure around Vincent is intense. Covered in the blessings of the Dwarf King, he clenches his jaw and thinks, I can't use the special sword strike recklessly. Unless I use it at the right moment. I'll just be handing over my ultimate technique to Carmen. Carmen then begins to walk slowly toward Vincent, his voice echoing through the arena. All your blessings have already been copied. And now, you can't use that strange sword path, because you're terrified it will be stolen. With a sudden leap, Carmen charges forward, his blade cutting through the air. A grin stretches across his face as he shouts. You have no options left. He swings with tremendous force, but Vincent narrowly dodges, and Carmen's sword crashes into the ground, sending debris flying everywhere. Vincent skids back, gritting his teeth in frustration, staring hard at his opponent. He has only just avoided that devastating strike. Carmen, unfazed, looks directly at him and smiles even wider. If I mix Galaxy Wanderer with the Dwarf King's blessing, it gets faster? Vincent's eyes widen in shock. Carmen is actually combining his copied abilities. Carmen's voice grows even more excited. Yes, each blessing alone is powerful, but when I combine them, they become even stronger. He stretches out both arms, his laughter filling the battlefield. Now I've figured it all out. Vincent's thoughts churn. 4 blessings in just a few minutes? That's incredible talent. But his voice breaks out in anger as he shouts toward Carmen. With such talent, you still resort to craving corrupt power. You're from a martial family. Carmen sneers and shoots back, voice dripping contempt. And yet you spout the same old-fashioned nonsense as father. He doesn't hide his philosophy for long. Calling on the dark blessing he stole, Carmen declares it plainly, triumphant and vicious. Victory itself makes a warrior. As long as you win by any means, that's enough. At that, memories strike Vincent like a cold wind. A flash of the past when he faced Kajin Semion, of the same cruel logic replaying. The world only respects the victor's record. An announcer's voice seems to echo in his head, a cold decree from another age. In the end, only the record of the victor remains. Vincent feels the old doubt creep in. Once more, the question gnaws at him. Am I going to kneel to this method again? Will I accept a world where winning justifies any cruelty? Then a voice, soft but fierce, cuts through the doubt. Don't give up. It is Julian, the minor god who has become Vincent's unseen companion. His voice is not just sound, but conviction. Didn't you say you'd correct history? Will you give up here so easily? The brother I know never gave up. Even when he was powerless, even when everyone wrote him off. He never gave up. Vincent. The words land like a hand on Vincent's shoulder. He looks toward where Julian's presence flickers, an image only Vincent can sense, and a small, stubborn smile curls his lips. He answers not aloud but in thought, steady and certain. Yeah, it's not over yet. Then he speaks out to Julian, plan forming. Julian, let's use that technique. Julian hesitates. Huh? But that technique isn't complete yet. Vincent pushes. Do we have another way? Julian breathes in, resolves, fine. Let's try it then. Vincent squares his stance, and for an instant the scene melts away. Another memory surfaced. A strange, star-specked space where glowing constellations form patterns like a sword's arc. The stars seem deliberate, arranged to suggest a path. Vincent stares at them. Julian, don't these stars in this space seem to mean something? Julian follows his gaze. I was thinking the same thing. They both sense the shape of a technique forming. A new voice interrupts. Annalyn, a presence both cryptic and encouraging. You thought it resembled the sword path of the special strike, didn't you? She asks, soft but electric. Then, with a welcomed certainty, you finally realized it. Try following it once. This is what Aslan left behind, his final arrangement. Back in the arena, the atmosphere compresses. Dust whirls as Carmen coils himself, preparing to unleash the combined power of every blessing he has copied. He taunts, impatient and hungry for the kill. Done muttering to yourself? I'll put all the techniques I copied into one strike and cut you down. Carmen's sword flares. The copied techniques thrash together in his hands. The blade's aura shifts from purple to angry red. It grows like a looming tower, a two-story wall of steel and light. The ground shudders beneath the weapon's weight. He is ready to swing. Inside Vincent, the stakes are clear. He thinks fast, breath tight in his chest. If this technique is stolen too, everything is over. This is my only chance. Carmen laughs, sharp, belittling. How foolish of you to charge at me yourself. You've finally gone mad. Vincent. But Vincent's resolve hardens. Timing, he knows, is everything. He steels himself for the opening Julian will show him, trusting the patchwork of memory, divine guidance, and the new sword path Annalyn hinted at. Their blades collided again with a roar of steel. The clash unleashed a violent shockwave, rattling the stadium and shaking the ground beneath the audience's feet. Sparks lit the air as Carmen pressed forward, laughing wildly. I'll crush you as you are, and split you in two. Ha ha ha. Vincent gritted his teeth, muscles straining as he held the defense. Endure. Hold on until Julian finds the way. Inside his mind, he reminded himself of the technique passed down by Annalyn. The sword path of the special strike created by my master, fused with the divine essence left by Aslan. A sword path imbued with divine power itself. And because of that, even the new god, Julian, can create a sword path. And there he was, Julian. The minor god appeared just behind Carmen, guiding glowing trails of light in the air, sketching the invisible path Vincent needed. Carmen kept slashing, his grin feral. You're finished. But Vincent's eyes sharpened. He moved, pouring every ounce of strength into his next attack. His blade held forward. Carmen's expression faltered as he realized too late. He's charging along the greatsword's edge. Julian's voice thundered in Vincent's mind. Now, the sword strike and the creation of the sword path at the same time. Vincent lunged. Carmen's eyes widened in shock. Then their blades met in a clash that birthed a searing white light. The stadium vanished into brilliance. In that instant, Vincent's consciousness flickered. Another memory surfaced, Annalyn's voice. What? You want me to name that technique? Since it's a strike that transcends the concept of a sword path. End in destruction? No, that belongs to me. A bit disappointing, but just. Call it the transcendent sword strike. The vision shattered, and reality returned. The light cleared. Carmen staggered. His hand, severed, fell to the ground. He froze in shock, thoughts spiraling. There wasn't even a sign of him using a sword path. Yet the attack appeared as if from thin air. Vincent stood firm, chest heaving, but eyes blazing with clarity. Normally, with all my powers copied, this could have been your victory. But I had a power you could never imitate, the power of existence itself. That is Julian's power. Julian's voice rang proud, almost laughing with relief. He did it. Carmen finally collapsed to his knees. The duel was over. Revan, the referee, stared wide-eyed, then shouted with awe. Truly he won. The victor. The winner of the duel is Vincent Adenka. The stadium erupted. Supporters of Vincent roared in joy. Relief washed over Khan and Versa as they exhaled, smiles breaking across their exhausted faces. The impossible had happened. Vincent had triumphed. That's it for Chapter 156 of Standard of Reincarnation. What an incredible showdown. Vincent finally put an end to Carmen with the transcendent sword strike, sealing his victory in this fierce duel. If you enjoyed this chapter breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. And a special thank you to our channel members. Your support means everything and helps keep Pages with Sidra alive and growing. See you all in the next chapter recap.